And I only wish there is less of background music and more of sound. Like, I really love the writings of Taylor. For example, the climax scene of Pushpa. At this stage of my career, when somebody doesn't want me, I want to know why you don't want me. Otta was not supposed to be directed by me. There's lots of awards kept in my studio and all that, except these two. My Oscar and BAFTA are not there.
Hi sir.
Hi.
Welcome to Good Companion South. So let me start by reminding you of something we discussed about 6 or 7 years ago when I interviewed you last time. That time you gave us a very shocking fact about the movie industry. You said the budget, you had just finished working in a superstar movie, and the money that they had slotted to build a pandal for the superstar to walk from the trailer to the movie set was more than the budget they had given the sound department. Now it's about 7 or 8 years since then, and of course you have become the superstar of your domain. So has it improved? Has it changed?
I would say marginally.
Marginally.
In the last 10 years, what has happened is people have understood the importance of sound.
Yeah.
Especially in a big time movie. For example, like if you really want people to come to the theatre to watch movies, especially the post-COVID scenario.
Yeah.
People have realized that we have to give them something that they don't get it at their homes.
Correct, yeah.
They don't get it through an OTT, to their small, people who have like Dolby Atmos home theatre systems are very few. But there are a fair amount of people like that. But barring them, so if you need a larger than life experience in a movie hall, then the picture and sound have to be of a certain quality. It actually increases the production value. So off late, if you look at most of the big budget movies that have been breaking the records, they're all done big with sound, with camera. Technically, they were all been very, very superbly fine work. So that is a huge, what I say, a paradigm shift, quantum leap. From the old superstars movies where a couple of fights and good songs, good locations, to action flicks which are very finely cut, very finely done. People are talking about background music, people are talking about sound editing, people are talking about how well a sequence is cut. And you are dealing with a very evolved audience right now, because they're exposed to very fine work globally. So you have to change. So that change is visible.
So you mentioned COVID as one of the reasons why this shift happened from the industry side.
Even before COVID, I've been saying that the time has come where we have to give an audience what they don't get it at homes. You have home theatre systems. In 5,000 rupees you get a home theatre system. So we have to give them something that they don't get it at home. The only way to do that is to enhance sound. Sound is one thing. Picture you still see. You can get a 4K television.
Correct.
You can still see. What they don't get is the best quality sound. That the exhibition systems have realized it, and that filmmakers have realized it. And I only wish there is less of background music and more of sound design work in films. Because in today's, if you take all of the big breaking movies, you take one common factor, and that is the music is no more background music, it is foreground music. Everything is talked through music, and everything is a musical. X musical, Y
this music director's name musical. And then
that is something very fatiguing. Continuous thrust of music is really fatigue an audience, and filmmakers have to understand that beyond a point they start disconnecting from the movie. So you have to craft your movie with enough silences. There is a narrative graph. You also have to work out a loudness graph that goes concurrent with the narrative graph. Then only we can keep the audience engaged.
Correct, yeah.
So people would go to a big superstars movie, a weekend would be like all of their fans and all that. The real audience comes after the fans,
after they're done.
After the fanfare. So if you really want to occupy the mind space of the real audience, then you really have to craft it well. it is not just the quality of, you know, the sound that you're putting it up, also how well it is crafted in terms of, it is about, you know, a mixing table. For me, a mixing table of a film is actually rewriting the film. Now you write a film, the film gets rewritten while it is being shot. It gets rewritten again when it is edited. You know, finally, the writing takes all its shape at the mixing table. You know, unless you have understanding of this, or you have a very well experienced technical front assisting you in this aspect, you will still be making the pot boilers.
Correct.
To me, which is 90% of the films in India, still pot boilers.
Yeah. So, but just an added point to this, do you feel that among directors, I don't know how much that happens in Malayalam cinema, but at least in Tamil and Telugu, don't you feel that the directors themselves are quite insecure? They're like, we cannot have a moment of silence. In the second we have a quiet scene, theater, people in the theater are going to start hooting, people are going to start shouting, they're going to become restless. Do you think that fear itself comes from some kind of insecurity?
Of course. See, the downfall of sound in cinema is because it comes at the fag end of the filmmaking process.
The last process almost.
The very last process. When everybody ran out of money, then no business is happening. You don't know if your pre-bookings are good. If everyone in the unit is very insecure, you know, producer, director, hero, everybody, you know, and the whole job of the sound guys become, you know, fulfilling the insecurity of this whole gang. Unless you are dealing with a very strong director who says, this is my film. This is what I want to give, you know, which are very few in numbers. Otherwise, it becomes, you know, fulfilling all these insecurities of everyone. You know, the shot takings are not very good in that place. Let's just put some music there. You know, the story doesn't move well. He didn't act well. Just pass it. It's like flipping a page. How can you very quickly flip the page? It's become the job of a sound guy. That's very sad.
So it's like a distraction. They want you to help them.
Basically, if there is a flaw, they just want to
a filter
pass the flaw like very quick. Like bad VFX is one thing. So just do some sound. You just quickly go through it. We never consider chopping it off.
Removing that scene.
Removing that scene. I heard stories of big directors who have like 2,000 shots in their film. When it came, half of it is bad. So just remove it. Just remove sequences, you know. Or you dedicate time to fix everything. To me, this starts from one basic problem, that we aren't spending enough time at the writing stage. You know, that there are certain directors who feel that if they go to a set with a very pakka writing, then they don't feel like deviating from the writing. You know, I have that problem. I want certain believability in the writing, and once that believability is done, I want to stick to the script.
Okay, you don't want to change too much on the set.
We do in terms of performances, in terms of improvisations, but the basic text has to be
intact,
stuck to. That's what all over the world we do. You know, there's a saying: if it's not on page, it is not on stage. You know, so we aren't spending much time at the writing stage. But though I must say that such Malayalam films, Tamil films, some Assami films are spending a lot of time in writing. Like, I really love the writings of Jailer. I mean, barring the second half. First half I thought was outstanding writing.
Super.
You know, quite often I feel that the Indian director, I mean, most of them are writer directors. You know,
of course, yeah.
So the writing is not taken to its fullest. You know, as a screenwriting, as a faculty, we don't have an expert. You always have writer director. It has its own flaws. It has its own advantages. The advantage is the writer has some ideas, some vision. The disadvantage is it is half writing. You know, most often I feel that I wish that film was finished in first half. You know, if the first half is so good, we should stop making the second half. You know?
Nothing more to say.
That's because the writing. That's because of the writing. Then most often we write around aura of an actor. You know, after first time we don't know what to do with it. You know, the hero always have to win. The good always has to win over the evil.
Evil, yeah.
So we are stuck with that. So it is in the back of our mind from time immemorial. From Mahabharata, from Ramayana, from all our legends, all our idihasas is talking about good over evil. So we need to have, we don't have a joker.
Yeah.
I think a joker can only come from a free society.
Correct. Yeah.
Society needs to be undressed at times.
Yeah. Disturbed.
That's why, it needs to be disturbed because only when it is disturbed, if we find the order. We cannot keep boasting about order we had.
Yeah.
We have to disturb it. I mean, that's what I look at in all youngsters' work.
Yeah.
When I work with the youngsters, what I feel, youngsters, I'm also young. Somebody who is 10 years younger to me.
Yeah.
I feel they're vibrant.
Correct.
They don't want this. They don't want this order. They want some other order, which is of course imbibed from other culture, other informations. But this order needs to be disturbed. And I feel very little films are coming like that.
Yeah.
So that's where I feel Indian films are lacking the writing.
Correct. Yeah.
It's always finding the order. It's not about finding the order.
Breaking.
It's about disturbing the order, the existing order, so that the order itself will find an order.
Sir, but tell me about this, sir. Like you said, all that workload comes to you just 3 or 4 days before the release of that film, and oftentimes, like, you are the one who has to kind of sacrifice your comfort and your peace of mind to finish that movie in that particular time. What is that stage like for you, not just in terms of workload, but how often do you get that satisfaction that, okay, I was able to work my 100%?
See, Godard said, Jean-Luc Godard, who was the famous French filmmaker, he said, I make a film for just one scene, because I need to get the fund from people, somebody who actually
spending the money.
I have to take the money from him. So I have to put things in the film so that it interests him. But there will be one scene. See, he especially pointed out the traffic scene in a film called Weekend.
Okay.
He said, I made Weekend only for that scene. So I take that as a great...
That's
that's my motto.
Yeah.
I will find one scene that will be my scene. For example, the climax scene of Pushpa. Okay. There is no background music in that. From the shootout, from the run, from the water point, from to that entire point where his eyes are shut. So it's everything about sound. Eyes are completely shut until his face is revealed. When he slide through under the thing, everything is sound. There's no background music, nothing. It's the forest, it's him and his action, nothing else. And Sukumar was full on with me. He said, "Sir, just go all out." For me, that is enough. He has given me that. And or rather I would say I found that space in the film. I mean, Pushpa is an outstandingly enjoyable movie.
No, sir, but don't you think exactly when I watched that scene, the scene that you're describing, that's the scene where I thought, oh, this is why they would have called Resul, sir. So it works that way also, right, sir? So don't you think that's what happened in Pushpa? We have a scene like this, we need the best.
Yes.
Don't you think it works like that?
Like I said, so they have come to me for, for reasons. Of course, they wanted the film to be, in a different space. Also, Sukumar wanted to break away from the stereotypes of how commercial Telugu films have been looked at. So the first thing I told him, we should do live sound. Okay.
Which is a shocking thing there.
So, it was completely, like, we are 400 people in the crew. And imagine the number of coolers and ACs running in a set. Okay. So it was enormous, and it was in the thick of COVID. We were shooting. All those problems. So they would call, one day they would call, "Sir, tomorrow we are shooting." Like, the crew needs to be flown in from Bombay. So there were sequences where there was no sound. Okay. Then Sukumar will sit in the mixer room and tell me, "Sir, that is not live sound." I would say, "Sir, there was no live sound on that day. That's Nagra sound." "But sir, I like that sound so much." But
keep it.
But no, we can't use it. It is not a usable quality of sound. Again, this is a very decisive factor. When we began, when I was becoming putting forth the idea of live sound in Indian cinema way back in 95,
late 90s,
and people listened to us. When we said, okay, this is the quality that we need, this is the equipment that we need, this is how we should conduct ourselves. We have to take this sequence in this time of the day because the location is noisy. People listen to us. Now, I would look at it in the last 20 years, what has happened is, everybody is doing live sound. But nobody, like a cameraman will say that I want a reflex camera, or I want red camera, I want this lens, I want this filter. But if a sound guy say that I want Cantor recorder, I want the Cantor recorder, I want the A10 microphones, I want these things with me, they will not give it to him. They will find the smallest budget that is allocated for sound. They want somebody who doesn't make noise in a set. That has actually watered down the qualitative work that we are doing. To me, 90% of the work that's happening in the mainstream cinema today with live sound are all glorified pilot recording.
Library sounds.
It is trash. We've gone back. We've taken a good step in the right direction. Then we have gone back. Then again, this again called for the understanding of directors. A director has a fairly good understanding about what lens he wants to use in capturing a shot. Fairly good idea. He has fairly good idea about what kind of camera movements he wants. But he doesn't have a fair idea about sound. What kind of microphones? What will do? I mean, when an image is conceived or image is given to an audience in a theater with both picture and sound. When you are capturing, you only have an understanding of the picture. You don't have the understanding of the sound. Which is a huge lag. Or you keep people who have that understanding, who will advise you. Okay, let's design the scene this way. Let's for example, when I was working in Radhesham, the director came to me even before, like 6 months before we went into the floor, and we talked at length. I had spent days with him understanding his script, and he would tell me, "Sir, please tell us how can we use sound in the narration."
Can you give me an example of how a scene changed because of that, sir?
The whole underwater sequence, for example.
Okay.
The whole shipwreck
was rewritten because you could give your inputs.
So it was all designed around sound. Because we did the previous, even before, like 3 months before we went into shooting. So we understood problems. Okay, this we can have, this we can have. If we spend more time here, then we can have, like for example, he goes underneath. You see his eyes. There's water. There's eye drops going. And how do we connect? Between his energy goes into her, her energy goes into him. So both of them come alive. How do we communicate this? Through
there's
sound.
no scope for anything else.
So you have a large amount of sounds, very high energy sound, and the peak of it, we just
silence.
We just drop everything. And you have this water drops and just connect. And then things start moving, tickling in the water, and just comes out. So those are things we have pre-designed it. Same goes for 2.0. Many things have been.
That bird in the hand.
The bird. And for me, that's the most poignant moment. For me, that's a scene for me.
So like that, do you have one or two scenes like that?
I'm saying I will find a scene like that. If nothing has been given to me, a film is given to me. Okay, now this is it. Work. I'll find a scene like that for me, and I'll do full justice to that. Okay, this is the maximum I could do.
So at the start of that, you are quite clueless. This is a challenge. I have to.
I mean, 2.0, I had a different challenge. 2.0, the biggest question was posed to me by Shankar to me was, so there is something called 3D in picture. In a three-dimensional picture comes to the audience.
How do you create that in sound?
Do we have anything like that in sound? Can the sound comes to you? Like in a Dolby Atmos exposition, there are sounds played
on top.
All around there is sound, but doesn't come to you. To only create a pseudo image. Is that in actuality? Is there anything like that? I said, sir, in theory it is possible. In practicality, I need time to execute.
Correct.
So it took us 2 years
to crack that.
To crack it, and because then I started from the exhibition system. In a theater, an operator wants one switch. Okay, one switch. 2.0, one switch, some other film. So we have to simplify it to that extent. From there I started. In 2 years we come up with something called SRL.
I watched it there in Satyam.
So then again, you need somebody who understands it, somebody who feels that okay, this is what. I mean, I'm saying those are the thoughts that will bring the audience back into theatres. Then my question is, what will all the medium budget films go? Where do they go? What will they don't get audience share? So they don't have theatrical experiences. So again, that is a question that we as artists, filmmakers, storytellers have to crack it. We have to answer it. There are films that aren't, rather than life experience. There are films that are very, very close to your heart.
So you worked for so many years where it's somebody else's script, it's somebody else's direction and all those kinds of things. When you get to that point where you're directing yourself, did you have a list of ideas and checklists on how differently you're going to treat your film when it finally happens? And what is the first stage of that in Otta?
It doesn't work like that. See, there is a script, there is a story, you want to make it, and it's your vision. It is your vision, you go with that, There can't be checklist in that. Even if there are checklists, things are not going to go the way you want to go. For example, I started off, Otta was not supposed to be directed by me.
Oh, okay.
I was only supposed to produce it.
Okay.
A friend of mine was supposed to direct it, and things didn't go well with the rest of the team, so I had to step in. So now I'm taking somebody else's robe and wearing it. Then what Otta does to me, and maybe further the films that I'm going to make, is that I've been a sound designer. I've been sitting in my studio. Work used to come to me, and I would do things that I want to do. I was in a very, very comfort zone last a decade, 10 years. So I've been sitting and working in my own way. And every film that came to me had its own challenges, but still a domain,
comfort zone,
still a domain which I have control over. Today I am taking a baby step. I've come out of my comfort zone. I've started directing. I started being a team leader, where everything needed to be
approved by
controlled and taken to a direction, and it's very unsettling. It's very scary. You're always constantly in doubt whether someone will like your work, whether someone will approve what you've done. So then the only question that is palpable at that stage is, what is your vision? This is the vision that you have to give it out to the world. This is the text I had. This is what I've extracted from the text. For me, I am in that creative space right now, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I am so happy that I came out of my comfort zone. I am so happy I am in an insecure space. I am so happy that I am going to be judged on October 27th by everybody. Oh, this is Resul Pookutty is this much only. I am so happy I'm going
to be... But why do you say it like that, sir?
People might expect, because you are an Oscar winner, you are a globally celebrated technician. People might expect something like, next Nolan has come, or next James come, or something to that effect, or something to that level. Or maybe, okay, he will be better than anybody else, he will be better than, he'll be something new, something, beyond.
Yeah.
People might expect something like that. I'm saying I have nothing like that. I'm just an ordinary, filmmaker. I have made a film. This is my vision of the film. This is the film that I want to talk about. Maybe in another film I'll do something else. That's what I'm saying. In that level, from a super tech to a level playing ground with every other storytellers, I am also taking a baby step. So, it's very insecure. I mean, it's very unsettling. You didn't say insecure. It's very unsettling. But I like it. That I've come out of, I think filmmaking is about that
breaking
constantly you're unsettled. You only create new things when your
outside
existence is challenged. When your locus standi is challenged, and I've been challenged right now.
Did you always, I mean, of course, you're telling me that it was an accidental step up that you became a director. But if ever there was a plan for you to direct, would it have been a Malayalam film?
No, I was actually planning a Hindi film.
Okay.
I had a beautiful subject, which now I want to narrate it to Rajini sir.
Oh, super.
I've been trying, but because everybody's busy, so I haven't found the time to do it. But I do want to narrate it to him because I think it's up in his alley.
But that's a commercial, completely mainstream commercial movie.
Is Babel a commercial movie?
Or how do you say Babel? Yeah.
How do you place a film like Babel?
Yeah.
It's very difficult. It's not a mainstream Hollywood, but Brad Pitt is there.
Brad Pitt is there.
Kate Blanchett is there.
Yeah.
And it's not a regular, international art house movie.
Yeah.
But it is there. It's a global movie. It is a universal, and like people across the globe can understand
it, yeah,
and identify. So it's about India actually.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. It's about it's a story about Akhanda Bharat, I would say. If you say, like an undivided India. We, as a culture, how we existed, and we were jealous of the world.
Yeah.
So it's about it's something like that. It's the core idea of it is that what we saw as humanity. So it's quite a. We don't have any, huge action.
Not any style
action.
Action, yeah.
But it's a very moving story. It's a very human story.
But tell me this, you just tweeted quite recently in response to something Shekhar Kapoor had said about what AR Rahman was facing, and whichever way you look at it, it's kind of unbelievable that you had, of course this Oscar curse is something everybody talks about, but the fact that you had to deal with is something that is very unbelievable to me, and given the fact that you kind of spoke about that Oscar curse, basically in Bollywood, everything, almost all the major works that you did before Slumdog was in Bollywood. You got an Oscar and then suddenly it stopped. Even now it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Can you just explain what exactly you went through that time?
See, it comes from two factors.
Is there an element of jealousy also in that?
I don't know. I don't want to look at people from that perspective. I would say it comes from two things. One of the biggest films of India, when it was in the making, the director came and met me and they wanted me to work on the film. We spoke, we had a very good narration, we had very good ideas. So he came to Mumbai to my studio, we met, we talked, we loved each other. Then I went to his office, we sat through the narration, I heard 3-4 hours of narration and I had my ideas. And then he said, okay sir, we will start the filming in July. And the film started filming and I have no knowledge. They never came back to me. So I wrote to them. I wrote them a mail. First I tried to contact the director, he didn't respond. Send him a message, he didn't respond. Then I sent a message to the producer, he didn't respond. Then I asked him, see, look, I understand you don't want me, but at least be professional and tell me, no?
And we'll go with somebody else,
we're going with somebody else. And I just want to know one thing. What is that I have lacked as a person at this stage of my career? When somebody doesn't want me, I want to know why you don't want me, so that I can correct myself. These are the exact words that I written to him. Please tell me what is that I lacked. It was not money, because we never discussed money.
It couldn't have been that, yeah.
Couldn't have been that, because we never discussed a budget. Budget was never discussed. I wonder why I've been rejected.
At that time, the only information that you have is, okay, I gave my inputs, did he not like that inputs or something like that?
Nothing.
Yeah.
So, no
response, yeah.
So, only the producer just sent me a message saying that, sir, director had his own personal choice. Film released, film became a huge hit. Couple of months later, the director wrote to me. I've been trying to answer your question for the last 2 years in the making of the film. I really don't know why I didn't choose you. Maybe I am from a village. Maybe my village boy syndrome. When I met you, when I spoke with you, you were so clear about your ideas. You had so much knowledge about what you do. It scared me. You knew so much about cinema and what you do, and it should have been a reassurance for me, but it scared me.
Interesting.
I said, thank you so much for your reply. I have moved on in my life. Okay, bas, bye. And I quite like the frankness, though it was 2 years late. I had gone through my own heartbreak. But at the peak of your career, when the whole world is celebrating you, then somebody is rejecting you, it's become a huge blow to your own self. So I had gone through that. I bled actually. Why? Why would somebody reject me? Budget I understand. Okay. My behavior I understand. Like okay, you're not a person who.
Not team player or something. If they had said okay,
so,
fine. Yeah.
You're a very bad person to work with. I understand that. But this, because you know so much about your work, because you're so clear, you have so much ideas, that scares me. That's probably the reason.
Intimidating.
Like for example, when I did Black, one of my very first big commercial hit, I did enormous amount of work in Black. Even today, when people look at it and tells me it was a phenomenal work on sound. Black released 2 months later on an Eid day. Bansali called me to wish happy Eid. Then he told me, you know Resul, let me be frank with you. In my entire film career, you were the only technician that I was scared of. During the making of the whole film, I realized every time you were taking the film away from me. First I was shocked. Then I said, it's the biggest compliment I can get. A director is not a dictator. He is not an answer to every problems or every question that has been asked on a set.
He doesn't have to have,
He doesn't have. He doesn't have. Truffaut says that on an average, 625 questions is been asked to a director every day on a set. On an average. He has to answer. Look how decisive his work is. Like how many questions you have to answer a day. Nobody, no profession in the world or the CEO of a company have to answer that many questions in a day, on a daily basis. Then what do? You create a support system with the best people around you. The best artist that you can, the best writer that you can, best composer that you can, best lyricist that you can, best cameraman you can have, best sound that you can have. Who will take that vision and take it forward? That is what I learned from Shankar, Bansali. Like filmmakers of that kind. Sukumar. He always surrounds himself with the best people. They have the possibility to do it. They have the money to do it because they have the vision to do it. Then that is the only thing that takes the industry forward. So quite often we are very small. Quite often we become authoritative.
So tell me about like the experience of Otta. Of course, besides the challenge of taking it up, after a certain stage, of course, I heard about how, you were admitted to the hospital for 45 days. The film had to get stuck. You're the producer. You built expensive sets. That money is getting stuck in one place. So leave the fact that you're kind of getting out of a comfort zone, but this is the absolute other end. But do you still, eventually, of course, you said you enjoyed the process, but is it something that you want to keep doing?
I think I'm built for this.
Okay.
I came to film school with a vision about making a film. I want to die as a feature filmmaker, even if I'm a bad one. I want to die as a feature filmmaker. Period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No
questions about
no questions about not doing it.
Yeah.
I made my first feature, and it's a decent one. I thought it's going to be a cakewalk for me.
It wasn't.
Almighty said no.
No chance. Yeah.
You have to walk a path which you have not tread before. Then only diamonds doesn't come just like that.
Yeah.
So 4th day of my shoot, I collapsed on the set and I was diagnosed with dengue fever. And I thought it's like viral fever. Go and
1 week, yeah.
I almost died and came back. I was in nightmares for days, for weeks. I have nightmares. I just couldn't come in terms of it. My platelet count was so bad, and they did 12 bottles of plasma transfusion in me, and still I was not recovering. So I really went. The doctor said I was one of the longest, third case nationally, the longest thrombocytopenia, which is a situation where your platelet go really bad, you go through internal bleeding, and everything that can go wrong with me went wrong. And I was also going through some personal challenges at home, that front. It took me 45 days to recover. 45 days, the set stood there. I lost everybody's dates, all my stars. And we had, I like people from Tamil cinema, Malayalam cinema, Telugu cinema, Hindi cinema, everybody. Adil Hussain, Divya Datta, Satyaraj, Rohini, Bhavana, Asif, Indrajit. That's gone.
All gone.
Everything gone for a toss. But my cast and crew, they were so lovely. They went out of their way. They can't tell. I mean, like Satyaraj sir, please don't worry.
He pushed his other movies.
You tell me, I'll come. And he made all the efforts. Asif did everything. Indrajit did everything. Everyone did everything possible. Rohini, so many movies she had to push. She had to beg and plead and travel for hours, 8 hours by road. Even Asif, 16 hours by road to reach and give me one scene and go back. Because I had combinations. Everybody did that. 67 days I shot non-stop.
From recovery,
From hospital, I come back, walk onto the set, finish the set and start shooting. 70 days, only 3 days break, traveling breaks. Wrap up the film in one go. The little bit that we had to shoot because Asif has to grow, has to become an older man. Those reasons, Adil Hussain wasn't available, he was doing a Hollywood film. So those things, 3 days, 4 days, like that, 3 days, three schedule I shot. But predominantly the principal photography was done at one go. And I just didn't know how this 70 days is passed. Every day you get up, you go, shoot, come back. And you are dead tired, sleep, next day fresh, new. So every day was a challenge. Every day was a challenge. The biggest challenge was shooting in Chennai. I recently heard the Chennai Technical Association putting out a ban about from people from Chennai should not shoot.
In other languages.
I think it's a very, very wrong statement. See, Chennai, historically, Chennai has been the hub of filmmaking in India. Even the biggest films of India have come from South. From Chandralekha to many films, even today, in today's time. The South is a very big place in terms of making quality films, quality to technicians, and everything from South has been just the biggest place. Don't shorten our South ka reachability, our pride, our ability to inculcate everybody and walk towards a greater cause. Don't put down like this with such small statements. And to Chennai authorities, I have something to say. It is very difficult to shoot in Chennai because you don't get permission. A Chennai local permission is being given only from 6 a.m. From 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So you cannot shoot during the day in Chennai. It is extremely difficult. I do not know why that kind of a rule has been set up by the government. Especially this government is from a film family. We need to look into all these aspects. And unless and until we make the local community the most vibrant, the most efficient, the local space is where people can come and experience and shoot and make stories. We as a society are not sending out right messages. And I think Chennai is lacking at this moment. I had enormous challenges, I had permission of the police, I had permission of the municipality, I had permission of every other authority to shoot in a space. I go to shoot, 14 political parties will come. Their chota nedas will come and they ask for money.
My God, okay.
I can't shoot. They stand in front of the camera and they block because they want money. Political parties, the names we haven't even heard of. It is such bad malpractice happening. Like the commissioner of police tells me, I have permission, then eventually I have to report it to the police. Including the police comes and ask you money. But I have to tell them, sir, this is what's happening, your own people are doing this. So he tells me, just click a picture of them and send it to me. I'll put them straight, I'll straighten them down. A value of a society is known from how they conduct themselves, the systems of the society, how they conduct themselves. It is so bad. We have no value. We are so corrupt. Every system is so corrupt that there is no sense left in that. You can't shoot in a temple. You can't shoot. I mean, these are all our valuable. Having said this, I also know that people have misused this opportunity. But there are genuine people. There are people who are genuinely want to portray, want to do things, want to tell stories. The justice system in India says that, unless proven otherwise, one is
not guilty.
Not guilty. Unless proven otherwise. Give everybody a chance to be heard. Give everybody a chance to be shown. That is how societal system should work. Unfortunately, I'm very sorry to say this, Chennai is not conducive to shoot. Our union, that union includes me, should work towards making a better place for all other filmmakers to come and experience and shoot in that space. This is a serious problem. You know, a similar problem we had in Bombay, and we addressed it, and immediately everything
was sorted out.
There's one single window to shoot. Nobody will trouble you. Of course, Bombay is expensive to shoot, but having said all that, Bombay, you still don't have problems like this. I mean, I was very shocked.
Yes, sir. So
because when I tell my Tamil filmmakers friends that I've shot in these places, they're asking how did you
manage? Yeah.
How did you manage to shoot it? You know?
Which is why you see many films shooting in Vizag and they're saying it's Chennai. They'll find another coastal place and they'll...
Because
this
we
is
don't
the
get permission.
Yeah.
We don't have day permission to shoot. I have to make my crew be awake all through the night from 10 a.m. so that I can start shooting at 5 a.m. Then I have time till 7 a.m., 9 a.m. Beg and plead till 9 o'clock I pack up before the traffic comes in. That is how I shot my film. It's a high time that the government of Chennai have to look into this and make a policy that is conducive for local filmmakers. I mean, big films can afford this. What about small films?
Yeah, like small movies, yeah.
There are all kinds of movies. There are movies that are being made from 50 lakhs to 50 crore. The 50 crore people can afford. They can show Chennai somewhere else. But what about small people? I mean, my film was 90s Chennai. 90s Chennai doesn't exist in Chennai. So I had to shoot in Coimbatore and Pollachi. To shoot in Coimbatore, I have to get permission from Chennai. Not just the local authorities. Permission is given from Chennai. Like how difficult it is to shoot. You are making life difficult for your own local, community. That is not something that is desired.
So I'm like looking forward to watching this movie after all the pain that you've been through. But let's end on a light note, sir. Last time we spoke, I wanted to know what is your, like how often do you look at the actual Oscar award and all. Then you told me, okay, once a month you go to the bank, you take it.
Not once a month, once in a year.
Now it's become once in a year. I think that time it was.
Now it's years now.
Many years.
Yeah.
Okay, but
after COVID, I don't think I haven't seen the statue.
You haven't even seen the statue.
No. But it's been 3 years now, 4 years.
Tell me, okay, at least that 1 or 2 occasions where you took the Oscar, did you have any kind of a routine? Did you have any kind of a ceremony for yourself to just enjoy it and just be at peace with it? Nothing.
No, nothing like that.
Oh,
I
really?
just want to forget it. Yeah. I just don't want to see it.
It
has happened. It has happened, and yesterday I got a Google alert saying about Oscar winners, and my name is on the top because I am the living first Oscar winner.
Yeah.
Satyadev is gone.
Yeah.
Parnotha is gone. Then comes me.
Yeah.
So I've been named. I'm like, So, no, I don't. If my children want to see it,
show them.
My banker one day said, "Sir, please,
I just want to see it.
Take a picture with it." I said, "Okay." One day Shahrukh said, "Sir, Rasul sir, can we see your Oscar?" So I took it out of the
locker, yeah.
And we were working in R1. So he looked at it and he took pictures and all that.
And he put it back.
Yeah,
that's it.
So if there is some public demand like that, I'll go take it.
But why don't you want to keep it in your house?
It's too much of a trouble. Because you are not there at home. It's,
correct. You keep traveling.
It's a security threat, yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you want to get up in the morning and see it?
That's a good idea for a movie plot, sir. That's a good idea for a movie plot.
Really? You get up in the morning, you have an Oscar in front of you.
Yeah.
There's lots of awards kept in my studio and all that,
yeah.
except these two. My Oscar and BAFTA are not there. It's in the locker. It is too much of a hassle. Maybe sometime later.
Nice glass
doorknob.
Yeah.
Door handle.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay, sir. Thanks so much for talking to me. As always, I enjoyed.
We didn't speak about the film though.
We spoke, sir. I mean, all the challenges you told me, what happened before the shooting, actual shooting, for the idea of the film. We have,